Down. Out. Other. Out.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 25th annual memorial service and award ceremony. Sergeant Georgioulis, please take charge of the detail. At this time, I'd like to introduce Father Petrucci to give a benediction.
On this Memorial Day, Almighty God, we come together because those who have faced the great dread and have made the ultimate sacrifice have called us here. Their lingering spirits hope that they will be the focus of our gratitude and the object of our prayer. May we heed the words penned by the poet Edwin Markham. How shall we honor them, our deathless dead? How keep their mighty memories alive? In him who feels their passion, they survive. Flatter their souls with deeds, and all is said. Dear God, surround them in the joy and peace of your love. Guide us in cherishing and sustaining all that they achieved. Bless them, bless us, bless America. Amen.
And I'd like to invite up Sergeant Kropinski for the memorial service reading.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests. Of all the years I've been going to Washington, D.C., this is one of my proudest moments this year, and I've been there for almost 20 years. While walking down the street, we were approached by a female survivor from San Bernardino, California. She walked up and she said, "Hey, are you the guys from Connecticut?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, we are. What can we do for you?" She said, "I just wanted to tell you how proud we are of you guys and keep doing the right thing." We do so many things in Washington, D.C. that we weren't exactly sure what she was talking about. I said, "Ma'am, could you tell me what you mean by the right thing?" She said, "Well, I'm a survivor also. My husband, Larry, was killed last year." She said, "In speaking with the ladies from Connecticut, we found out that Connecticut takes care of your survivors, and some of these survivors that were down there this year have been going down for more than 10 years. She said, it's the thought that you guys continue to worry about your survivors, because Connecticut is one of the only states where our survivors are taken care of for the entire trip down there. Their hotel rooms are paid for, their meals are paid for, and everything is taken care of for them." She said, "Sir, it's not the money, it's the thought that you continue to take care of your ladies even 10 years later. You're one of the only states that do that. It's a testament to you guys that are all out here, you guys that come to the hockey games, that come to the fundraisers that we do for the ladies, that we're able to take care of them in the manner in which we do. It means a lot to those ladies, as we found out this year, and it means more to those people that don't have the same benefits that our ladies do. So I thank all you guys for all you've done this year and what you'll continue to do. Thank you very much.
We're now going to have a blessing and dedication of the Captain Dennis Cooney Memorial Tree by Father Petrucci, Mrs. Dennis Cooney, Sergeant Cooney, and the family.
Many, many years ago, there was a governor of the state of Connecticut who called troops on best for the citizens. He prayed that he bless this tree that is going to be a memory of one of our best citizens. May it grow strong, may it always grow green, may it always be a sign that there are so many like Captain Cooney. They're dedicating themselves to our well-being, keep us in the shade of justice and peace. May God bless this tree and bless all of you, all of Captain Cooney's loved Son, Holy Spirit.
Department, as well as a man who you could always come to if you ever had a problem. Since I've come to work here, I've heard many compliments and stories about him. However, I actually believe one of the best compliments I ever received came from a man that I was arresting. As I was putting handcuffs on this man, he turned around and he looked at my name tag. And he said, "Are you any relation to Lieutenant Cooney?" I looked at him and I said, "Yes, that was my father." The man then turned and looked me directly in the eye and said he was a good man. And in very seriousness, stated that he was very strict, but always fair. It was this type of respect that Captain Cooney was able to always earn from all the people he encountered. So as we begin a new era of policing, we do not forget those who came before us. We learn from their examples and honor their sacrifices. Now I leave you with just a few words of wisdom from the late Captain Dennis Cooney. First, the worst decision you could ever make is to not make a decision at all. Second, if you're ever going to do a job, do it right, or don't do it at all. And third, if you ever need to call the Danbury Police Department, make sure that you have one question and one question only.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today at this memorial service, and I invite you to join us inside in the community room for our award ceremony and luncheon. Sergeant Georgioulas, dismiss the troops.
Thank you all again for attending the 25th Annual Danbury Police Department Award Ceremony. It's a special one for us, not only the 25th. We get to see Mrs. Carol Cooney, and think about all the fond memories we have of Dennis. We dedicated a tree to him, and it's the first one here, obviously, in our brand new headquarters. And we're glad you could all come and take part. The temperatures notwithstanding, they are working 24/7 on that. We should have wrapped up this afternoon. A nice comfortable weekend here. So, before we get started, I'd like to introduce the man that made this building happen. The right choice, Mayor Mark Bauer.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate your comments, and thanks for pointing out the heat. But we are working on it. It will be fixed. Trust me. You have my word. But I do want to recognize some of our elected officials that are here with us today. I know our City Treasurer, Dan Jowdy's in the back. Danny, thank you for coming. And Councilman Tom Sadi is with us as well. So, Tom, thank you for being here. I also want to thank the Cooney family for attending today, and obviously for all of Dennis's contributions to this department over the many years of his career. But we also appreciate you coming back today to participate in the ceremony. It means a lot to the men and women of our department who remember Dennis fondly and also recognize him for his contributions and getting us to this spot. So we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. I also, in a big picture kind of way, when we were building this building, I had a lot of discussions with other mayors that had put up police buildings, and I got the same theme coming back from all of them, and that it was that it's not the building that's going to be the problem, it'll be the transition into the building where you're going to have issues. And I have to tell you, this has been about as seamless transition as you're going to have from moving from the old site up to this site. That's really a testament to the planning that the deputy chief, the chief, myself, I mean, we would meet just about on a weekly basis to talk about transition starting last September. But more importantly, a testament to the men and women in this department who each took a role to play and made that happen and did it in the most efficient way. And I didn't get one complaint, not one email up to my office going, Mayor, what the heck's going on here? You guys just, you saw the mountain, you figured out what to do, and you got it done. So I want to thank you publicly for each one of you in this room that helped make the transition happen. And now we're running, and we'll have our cooling going real soon. And we're certainly excited to be here. But it didn't happen without your help and your support. So thank you very much. And this is also the 25th Memorial Service, so obviously we want to thank all of those police officers, both here in Danbury, in the greater Danbury area, and across the country, that have given their life for the service of the community that they serve. It is appreciated by the residents of this community. The interactions that you have every day, and there are thousands of interactions that you have every day with the public, are done in a professional manner that all of us can be proud of. And when you think about how many few complaints we really receive, you know what a great job that you're doing each and every day. So I want to thank you for being one of the best departments in the state of Connecticut, if not the country. I want to congratulate you on keeping Danbury's ranking as the safest city in Connecticut, even beating out Stamford. Just want to share that with the Georgioulas here. And it just shows how hard that we work, and I just want to again, publicly thank you for the great positive atmosphere that members of this department created here in this building, in this organization, but also out in the public where it really counts. So thank you. Keep up the great work. Congratulations to all of our awardees today. We appreciate the work you've done as well. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call on the Chief of the Danbury Police Department, Chief Alan D. Baker.
Good morning, to Mayor Balkin, elected officials, our distinguished guests.
my fellow Danbury police officers, thanks for coming out on such a beautiful day to mark this special occasion. It's a bittersweet day at the Danbury Police Department, because first and most important, we're gathered here to honor the memory of those and the sacrifice of those Danbury police officers who made that ultimate sacrifice in service to the city of Danbury and their fellow citizens. And just to remember their names, P.O. Florence Sullivan, September 8, 1896, P.O. Robert Keating, October 16, 1955, P.O. Stephen Michalko, November 11, 1976, and Captain Dennis Cooney, September 12, 1994. Although these brave officers physically left us, their spirit of service did not. That spirit continues on in all of us, and that spirit is something that guides us today. Today is also a day of recognition, honor, and celebration as we hold our annual award ceremony, the 25th award ceremony. Part of our mission statement indicates that the Danbury Police Department will provide the best community-oriented police services to the people of Danbury. And today you're going to hear and you're going to read about some of those amazing actions by Danbury police officers that illustrate that mission statement in action. That mission statement is not just words, but it's honor, devotion, and hard work by our fine officers. And it's that hard work and devotion of all Danbury police officers that makes Danbury the safest city in Connecticut and one of the greatest cities in the country. So congratulations and thank you to all your honorees and your families for the sacrifice you made for us and for the town. It's a better place because of it. I want to thank Mayor Boughton and all our community leaders that joined us today for recognizing these important contributions and the sacrifices police officers make by honoring us with their presence this morning. And I do want to offer a very special thanks to Mayor Boughton for honoring his commitment to the Danbury police officers. Over the past 20 years, many have talked about a new police station, but he made it happen. When he was first elected mayor, he made a commitment to the Danbury police officers. He was going to address the inadequate police facilities here in Danbury. Today we're in this brand new building. We have all kinds of parking. There's a lot of storage space, interview rooms, brand new equipment, beautiful fitness room. Although I think we brought the air conditioner from 120 Main Street. No, we're that fixed too. So thank you, Danbury police officers, for all you do each and every day. You certainly make me look good, and I sincerely thank you for that. I feel truly humbled and honored to serve with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. As I read the cases, I will please call the award recipients. I would ask you to come forward. Stand right over here to my right, your left. And then after the citation is read, you'll proceed across, receive your certificate, your medal, and return to your seat. First case is case 044048. Detectives Craig Martin, Daniel Champetta, Supervisory Special Agent Rico Falzone, who cannot be with us today, and United States Marshal Anthony Iaquinto. Please come forward. April 9, 2004, the Danbury Police Department received a missing person complaint by a family member of the owner of Gusto Restaurant. Subsequently, it became apparent this was not just a missing person case, but that something serious had happened to the victim. This was later determined to be a murder occurring in the early morning hours of April 5th. Detectives Champetta and Martin were assigned to head this investigation. The remains of a male, later determined to be the victim, had been discovered in Bedford, New York, a few weeks after the missing persons report had been filed. The remains were multiple dismemberments with 2 bullet wounds to the back of the head, placed in dark garbage bags on a cul-de-sac. This investigation was a lengthy, detailed, and extremely comprehensive case. 4 years of challenging, intense investigation culminated in the issuance of an arrest warrant in March of 2008. The depth and complexity of this investigation involved approximately 200 interviews, numerous surveillances, processing search warrants, and working with forensic experts and state and federal agencies to further the investigation. The United States Marshal's Office Service, and in particular, Senior Inspector Anthony Iaquinto, worked countless hours analyzing historical phone records, cell phone activation sites, and assisted with locating witnesses. His assistance was crucial in damaging the credibility of the suspect's alibi and placing the suspect in locations of the crime at significant times. Had it not been for the excellent police and quality investigative work of Detective Trompetta, Detective Martin, S.A. Faldone, and Inspector Iaquinto, a particularly heinous murder in the city of Danbury would not have been solved. For their efforts in this case, Detectives Martin and Trompetta are awarded the Medal of Meritorious Service. U.S. Marshal Anthony Iaquinto is awarded the Chief's Achievement Award. Thank you. Case 084059. Recipients are Officer Roger Hancock and Officer Kevin Zalowski. On the 7th of May, 2008, Officers Hancock and Zalowski were on bike patrol in the downtown area. While in the area of Main and Kennedy, they heard the sound of glass shattering. Both officers searched the area to determine the cause. As Officer Hancock turned the corner, they observed a male running toward him, bleeding profusely from his right arm and leg. Officer Hancock attempted to stop him, but he continued running. Officers Zalowski and Hancock continued to chase the man down Main Street into Kennedy Park. The man was bleeding profusely and screaming, "I'm going to die, I'm going to die." Officer Hancock, recognizing that several arteries had been lacerated in the victim's arm, attempted to calm him down to reduce the volume of blood leaving this man's body. Officer Hancock removed his shirt and used it to apply direct pressure to the arm wounds. At this point, several other patrol units arrived on scene to assist. Zalowski retrieved a blanket from one of the cruisers and applied direct pressure to the leg wounds prior to EMS's arrival. They discovered that the victim had reported to the probation office as part of his requirements, not knowing there were active arrest warrants for his arrest. When he was informed about the arrest warrants, the man who resisted arrest and jumped through the closed glass window, cutting his arms and legs, causing the severe lacerations. The victim was transported to Danbury Hospital, where he underwent several hours of surgery to repair the wounds. The doctor stated that if it weren't for the quick actions by Officers Hancock and Zalowski to control the blood loss, there's a very good chance the subject would not have survived. Officers Hancock and Zalowski were not only in the right place at the right time to catch a fleeing felon, but they ultimately saved his life in the process. They are hereby honored with the Life Saving Award. Officers Roger Hancock and Kevin Zalowski. Case number 084709. The recipients are Sergeant John Krasinski and Sergeant Vincent LaJoy. On the 26th of May, 2008, Sergeant Krasinski was on patrol in the downtown area when he came upon a group of youths on I Street. There were two groups who appeared to be in an argument. One group advised they had just been robbed by several members of the other group, and they pointed out two suspects. Upon seeing them point, the males began to flee on foot. Sergeant LaJoy arrived immediately and drove to the other side of the alleyway where one of the suspects had run. Sergeant LaJoy blocked his escape route. He was taken into custody and positively identified by the victims of the other group. The suspect was questioned back at headquarters and identified the other male as his cousin. A photo lineup was created. The second suspect was positively identified by a victim and witness. The suspect was subsequently located at a residence hiding behind a refrigerator and was taken into custody. The arrest of these two suspects saw several recent robbery and assault incidents among the immigrant community. For their efforts in this case, they are both awarded the meritorious citation. Sergeant John Krasinski, Sergeant Vincent LaJoy. Civilian Award, Mr. Tim Brady. On the 9th of June 2008, Officers Hancock and Zelensky of the Community Conditions Unit were on light patrol in the downtown area and had received information of possible illegal narcotic sales in the I Street area. They observed the suspect, who has a lengthy arrest record and had just been recently arrested for selling narcotics, walking on White Street. Watching from afar, they observed a hand-to-hand drug transaction. The officers began following the suspects. The man Officer Hancock was tracking him with an unidentified male and began to retrieve something from his pocket until he became aware of the officer's presence. He began to run away. Despite being advised to stop, until Officer Hancock got up with him near the crowded bus terminal. A struggle ensued as the officer tried to place the suspect under arrest, and the suspect attempted to grab and remove the officer's weapon. As the struggle continued, 2 civilians, out of many dozens, came to his aid. Mr. Joe Cabo, of the Denver Fire Department, happened to be driving by and saw Officer Hancock struggling with the suspect. He stopped his vehicle and approached the officer. At the same time, Mr. Timothy Brady of the Landjet Bus Company saw the incident unfolding and realized that the officer was all by himself. Both civilians realized the officer needed help immediately. They asked if there was anything they could do, and the officer did ask for their assistance in securing the suspect until other officers arrived on scene. Mr. Cabo and Mr. Brady took it upon themselves to help an officer in need. It was quite evident that Officer Hancock was engaged in a life-or-death struggle with a known convicted felon with nothing to lose. Had he gained control of Officer Hancock's weapon, the outcome of this incident could have been much different. Mr. Cabo cannot be with us today, but Mr. Timothy Brady, on behalf of members of the Danbury Police Department, we certainly thank you very much for helping out an officer in need. You are awarded the Civilian Award. Case number 085922, the recipients are Officer Harold Sonny Usher and Officer Kevin Zalowski. The 2nd of July at approximately 11:50 hours, Officers Zalowski and Usher had just sat down to lunch in the Community Services Building on 116 Main Street when they heard a radio transmission for an ambulance to be dispatched to the YMCA on Dalton Street, right next door. The dispatcher advised the ambulance that there was a female victim of a possible drowning at that location. The officers immediately got up from the table and ran to the YMCA. Upon arrival, they found several people standing around an unresponsive female who was still partially in the water. The female was lying on her back, not breathing, and a check of her pulse showed no signs of life. Officers Zalowski and Usher immediately began CPR on the victim, continuing until EMS arrived on scene. The victim was transported to Danbury Hospital, where she died approximately a week later. Officers Usher and Zalowski made a valiant effort to save the life of the drowning victim and gave her a fighting chance to survive this terrible accident. For their efforts, they awarded the Exceptional Police Service Award, Officer Sonny Usher, Officer Kevin Zalowski. Case number 085943, the recipient is Officer Matthew Georgiou. On the 2nd of July, shortly after 9 p.m., Officer Matthew Georgiou was dispatched to assist with a choking person complaint. When he arrived on scene, he was informed that an 11-month-old baby was choking on the dye. He checked the infant to see if she was breathing, as she was gray and ashen. The airway was not fully blocked, but the infant was having difficulty getting air into her lungs. Officer Georgiou could feel the dye in her throat and tried to push it out with a finger sweep, but was unsuccessful. The infant began spitting up what appeared to be blood in her vomit. A second finger sweep moved the dye slightly, but was still unsuccessful, and the infant's condition was worsening. On a third try, Officer Georgiou managed to dislodge the dye and remove it from her throat. At this point, the infant began to breathe. EMS then arrived and transported her to the hospital for observation. The emergency room doctor and staff stated that the actions of Officer Georgiou directly resulted in the saving of the infant's life. His actions are a direct reflection of his commitment to the Danbury Police Department and the community which he serves. The Life Saving Award is presented to Officer Matthew Georgioulis. Case number 087324. The recipients are Officer Marcel Croix and Officer Justin Williams. Officer Williams cannot be with us today. Early morning hours of August 16th, 4:50 a.m., Officers Williams and Croix responded to a suspicious activity call. Neighbors had complained there was a beeping sound coming from inside a residence and that the fire department was also en route. The officers arrived on scene first and heard what they believed to be the sound of a smoke detector. They notified dispatch there appeared to be a thick fog, possibly smoke, inside the residence. All the windows were closed and there was no response at the door. The next door neighbor advised the officers that there should be people inside that apartment. Since this was a duplex home, the neighbor and her family were removed from the building as well. Officers checked the exterior. Officer Croix located an unlocked window, which upon opening was able to confirm that the entire apartment was engulfed in heavy smoke. Officer Williams entered through the window and opened the door for Officer Croix. As they made their way through the residence through this thick smoke, they saw a male sitting on a couch near the front door. He was passed out and had a small plastic wrapper in his mouth. Officer Croix removed the wrapper, checked for vital signs. The male had a weak pulse, appeared to be breathing. However, they could not wake him up. They began to drag him outside, and the fire department arrived. The male was revived by EMS personnel. It was later determined that the heavy smoke was caused by food burning on the stove. There was no one else in the residence. With limited visibility and the lack of information regarding the heat source causing the thick smoke, both officers were able to extract the man from the apartment, resulting in his survival. Quick response time and actions of Officers Williams and Croix resulted in the survival of the man on the couch. The Exceptional Police Service Award is awarded to Officers Marcel Croix and Officer Justin Williams. Case number 08-10848. Recipients are Sergeant Scott Favage, Officer Sonny Usher, Officer Ted Zelensky, Officer Kevin Zalowski. Subsequent to numerous burglaries that were occurring throughout the city of Danbury, several members of the Community Conditions Unit began a proactive patrol approach in an attempt to locate the suspect and stop these burglaries. The members included Sergeant Favage, Zalowski, Zelensky, and Usher. The city center liaison also assisted in this incident. After receiving information about a possible suspect in these burglaries, the officers began patrol in plain clothes and using unmarked vehicles. While on patrol, Officers Usher and Zelensky observed the suspect on foot in the Lake Avenue Extension area. Sergeant Favage and Officer Zalowski then joined in monitoring the suspect. Officer Zalowski followed the suspect on foot while the other officers remained in their vehicles. While following the suspect, Officer Zalowski observed the suspect walk to the front area of 35 Lake Avenue Extension and observed him attempt to unsuccessfully kick in the front door of a business several times. He then watched the suspect move to the front door of the establishment next door and attempt to kick in that door. The suspect was again unsuccessful. The suspect walked away. The officers temporarily lost sight of the suspect, and once they located him again, they saw him enter a gas station to make a purchase and continue up the street, where he was then stopped and taken into custody for attempting the two burglaries. While searching the suspect, the officers located a laptop computer that was hidden in his pants. No comments on that. The officers also located an iPod and cash in his front pocket. It was determined that a chiropractic office had been burglarized and the items discovered on the suspect had been taken from that office. The suspect was additionally linked to other previously committed burglaries. These officers took a proactive approach in order to locate and arrest a burglary suspect that had been plaguing many businesses in Danbury. Because of that, our burglaries are down about 30% so far this year. Good work. So the unit citation goes to the members of the Community Conditions Unit. Sergeant Favish, Sergeant Usher, Sergeant Usher, Sergeant Favish, Officer Sonny Usher, Officer Ted Zelensky, Officer Kevin Zalowski. Good job. This case is the Special Investigations Division case. Recipient is Officer Hector Rodriguez. Officer Hector Rodriguez worked in the Special Investigations Division from June 2008 to September 2008 on a temporary assignment. Officer Rodriguez worked primarily in an undercover capacity and was instrumental in several operations that achieved a successful conclusion. Some of these incidents included several arrests for the illegal sale of liquor and/or tobacco, forgery, and trafficking in personal identity information, sale and possession of narcotics, prostitution stings, a federally prosecuted counterfeit document ring, and a long-term investigation involving the undercover purchase of firearms, resulting in 6 handguns being removed from city streets. Officer Hector Rodriguez is commended for his fine work. He accepted this assignment with little training in undercover operations and exceeded all expectations due to his skills, knowledge, experience, and courage. During the course of these investigations, Officer Rodriguez was faced with dangerous situations involving armed criminals, and he consistently displayed a calm and courageous disposition under high stress. For his efforts, he is awarded the Medal of Meritorious Service. Officer Hector Rodriguez. So is our Danbury Rotary Club Sunrise Officer of the Year. The Chief's Achievement Award presented to Officer Matthew Georgioulis. Despite only being a member of the Danbury Police Department for just over 2 years, Officer Matthew Georgioulis' fellow officers and supervisors have nothing but the highest accolades about him, both professionally and personally. He represents what every officer should strive to be, demonstrating courtesy and politeness to the public, performing each job and task with a smile, and displaying professionalism and enthusiasm. He is highly proactive in his duties, which has resulted in a large number of arrests during his young career. While the number of arrests an officer makes in his or her career do not epitomize or qualify how great they are, the initiative shown, which results in these arrests, speaks volumes. The fact that Officer Georgioulis is constantly willing to go above and beyond the call of duty to assist those in need, as well as his peers, is a true testament to the dedication Matt has for his career as a police officer, and for this, he has been selected as the Danbury Rotary Club Police Officer of the Year, the Chief's Achievement Award. Next award is the Danbury Exchange Club Officer of the Year. The recipient of the Chief's Achievement Award is Officer Leonard Livonia. Officer Leonard Livonia consistently demonstrates a deep commitment to the Danbury Police Department and has received a large number of awards, commendations, and letters of appreciation for his actions while on duty. Throughout his career, Officer Livonia has participated and continues to be involved in many different facets of the police department. He's a certified dispatcher and field training officer, is an active member of the crime scene unit, and a part-time bail officer, dealing with domestic violence issues. Lenny was also a member of the Community Bike Patrol for 2 years and served as a department liaison for the Homeless Youth Coalition of Greater Danbury, in addition to volunteering and teaching for the Citizens Police Academy. Lenny also serves an impressive role in the community, volunteering for Connecticut Special Olympic fundraisers through tip account dinners, acting as a guest speaker at Western Connecticut State University, and mentoring for the Danbury Board of Education. His roles within both the Danbury Police Department and the community at large are highly commendable. Through his hard work, it is obvious the pride and respect he has for his job and fellow officers. Officer Leonard Livonia constantly and consistently demonstrates his commitment and dedication to the community in which he works and lives. For this, Officer Leonard Livonia has been selected as the Exchange Club Police Officer of the Year, the Chiefs of Achievement Award. That's going to about do our ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. We have lunch on the way. Should be here, taking courtesy of Danbury Police Union, Local 891. Thanks to Mike Farrell for arranging that. Thanks also to Lieutenant McColgan for arranging this whole deal every single year. He does it. He's got a lot of things going on. I appreciate you doing that. A lot of off-duty time spent on that. And of course, Misty Leonard, Executive Secretary to the Chief of Police, is really the brains behind this whole operation. Thank you very much, Misty. Please stay around.
Thank you.